Hi everyone, IZZY and MJ from Endless RVing. We just wrapped up the 2024 Greater Philadelphia RV show. It's our third one of the season. We did the Tampa show, we did the Northeast RV show, and then the Philly show. And one common denominator that we've seen at all the shows, surprisingly, regardless of what you read out there, there's a lot of people at the shows and a lot of people buying RVs. Not at record numbers, but still a lot of people buying RVs out there. So in this video, we're going to talk about some very important things that you should take into consideration prior to you getting the RV and after you get the RV. We're going to talk about financing and insurance considerations, because when we bought our RV, we were surprised by a lot of these things, and we don't want you to be surprised.
Before we jump into the video, we want to just kindly remind you that many of our subscribers have been finding themselves unsubscribed lately, so just do a quick check, make sure you're subscribed if you would like to be, and hit that notification bell.
And just to follow up a little bit further, have been unsubscribed multiple times. So if you've been unsubscribed and resubscribed, please go back and check, guys. We did a whole video talking about this. We'll link it up above. Let's get into this video.
Now, like us, most people when buying an RV, they're going to finance. Not a lot of people are living Izzy's dream where he wants to walk into an RV dealer with a suitcase full of cash and pay it all up front.
I would never do that anyway.
I know, but you dream of doing that.
It would be cool, but I would
the,
never do that.
Opening the suitcase, briefcase. Anyway, we want to delve first into financing and the types of financing. So there's many different types of loans that people can get. You can take out a home equity loan to pay for it.
You can do that, but
yeah, you can take a personal loan, and many people choose to get an RV loan. Something really important to think about, and it's something that obviously has built over many, many years, is your credit score. Now that can really affect the type of loan that you get, the interest rate that you get. I mean, right now it's tough getting really good interest rates, but 800 and above is, they say, is perfect credit. So that can really affect what you're going to be paying long term.
It's also going to affect if you even get a loan, depending on how large of a purchase you want. Some of these motorhomes cost more than homes, really. Another thing a lot of people don't consider, even if you have good credit, is assets that you have, right? Do you have good credit, but you don't have a home as a backup asset, or you don't have a big bank account, or you don't have income coming in, regular income? And this is really more into the bigger purchases, the big motorhome purchases. Banks are really, they do look at this because they need to have something to kind of secure that loan. So you have secured loans and unsecured loans. Secured is that there's collateral there. Unsecured is like a personal loan. We're just giving you that. And highly likely, you're probably not going to get a personal loan for a large amount, like $500,000 or more. They're going to want those secured loans. So this is something to consider, especially if you're looking to get into the bigger loans. You want to have assets on the side. A bank is more likely to lend to you at a lower rate.
You want to make sure that you shop around. So this is, again, why when people buy those emotional purchases right on the spot, these are all the things that kind of go by the wayside. You want to shop around for the best rates and the best terms before you jump into going right into the dealer and seeing what they have. You want to go in there already armed.
And what do we mean by that? We mean that the RV dealership, obviously they go through a bank. That's not the only way you can buy the RV. So you have credit unions, and there's other financial institutions out there that will give you RV loans at competitive rates. And how do we know this? Because we did it, right? We got initially we bought back in 2018 into 19. We had financed through, I think it was Bank of America at first. It was like 5.25. And then, believe it or not, we refinanced through Good Sam, and Good Sam, they have a third party, but we refinanced to 3.25. It was a much more competitive rate. We were able to pay our motorhome off in 4 years because we were sent more and we brought that rate down. But go in with an approval and a rate that you know in your head. Here's the secret, guys. Most of the time, the dealership is going to match or do better. They want the business.
They
want the business. So just go in there knowing that you did your homework and you have a rate, and you're probably going to get matched, if not better.
Let's talk about some common mistakes to avoid. So number one is overextending yourself financially. A lot of people are getting into RVs that in the long run, they probably can't afford.
And you'll see this at RV shows a lot. They'll have the price of the RV, and then it's like, you can get into this for, $1,000 a month. And then in the real fine print, it's like 800 credit score, 20% down for 240 months, which is last 20 years, right?
Right.
We would highly suggest, do what you want, right? We would highly suggest do not finance something for 20 years unless you're planning to pay it off much sooner and you're just getting a lower rate over 20 years, but you already have the money and you're gonna like, hey, I'm paying this off in 5, I'll take this rate. Couple of reasons. One, that RV is going to be absolutely worthless in 20 years and you're still going to be paying a lot of money for it. 2, 20 years is a long time for a lot of things to happen, and to be tied up with a product, an RV that every year is worth less. It's not like a home. For the most part, if you get a 30-year mortgage, and we took a 15-year mortgage, but if you do a 20, 15, 30, a long-term mortgage on a home, it appreciates in value for the most part. So you buy a home, 20 years from now, it's worth way more than when you bought it. You buy an RV, I can promise you it's going to be worth way less than what you paid for it. We suggest that you don't do that. And then finally, leaving a large down payment. And the reason why we say this is because statistically speaking, your first RV is probably not going to be your last RV. And a lot of people buy more RVs over time, and you will be underwater if you take a long-term loan and you don't put a large down payment down. Likely you're going to be underwater when you're trying to get rid of that other RV, whether it's trading in it or selling it. And for those that don't know what underwater on your RV or car means, it means that you owe more on that unit versus what it's worth. So if you owe $100,000, but that unit is only worth $50,000, you're $50,000 underwater. And that becomes a big problem over time, especially if you're rolling that loan into the next one, into the next one. And we did a video talking about people underwater having a really hard time. We'll link that up above. So let's talk about the next thing that we certainly did consider was insurance.
Right. Insurance is extremely important, as it is for anything.
Expensive.
Right. It is. So depending on where you live, it is not required to have insurance on a towable unit. We did not need to, but we did. I think it's really important to have that insurance. With motorized, on the other hand, yes, we are required. It is required. Right. So we have full coverage insurance on Nelly.
And now let's talk about the different types of insurance out there. Of course, MJ just mentioned full coverage insurance, and that's kind of the most comprehensive. It's going to cover a lot more items, tends to be more expensive. Also, why it's good, it tends to cover like collision, right? So if somebody hits your RV, like perfect example, Jason, we don't have full coverage on his car. He kind of hit a little thing.
He had a fender bender.
Yeah, a little fender bender on a rock by us. He doesn't have full coverage because his car is worth like, $500. So it doesn't make sense. But he damaged his bumper. We couldn't call the insurance up and said, hey, we want to put a claim in because it wasn't covered. Same thing like when our windshield got a crack in it, we have full coverage insurance. To replace that windshield was over $4,000. It cost us $200, right? So that's the difference. Now, our motorhome is now paid off. We can switch over to liability. It's going to cost us a lot less money, but we don't really want to take that chance, right? There's a lot of stuff that goes on in here that can happen, and repairing an RV is really expensive.
Now, if you're a full-time RVer, you definitely want to make sure that your insurance company knows that. If you're headed out to full-time soon, that's a phone call you want to make, because insurance companies, they can deny if they find out, if you're in an accident and they find out that you are a full-time RVer and they were not aware of that.
They would likely deny you, yes.
Likely, yes. I said they can, right? Doesn't mean they will. But because full-time RVers are out on the road more than most weekend warriors or part-time RVers, so there's a higher likelihood that something could happen just from the sheer fact that you're out there a lot more.
Right, it's all a calculated risk. The more you're out there, the higher risk you are if something happened. Of course, the insurance company wants to know that. Now let's talk about loss coverage. Really important. You need to know the terms of your insurance. So if your RV is a total loss, what is your insurance going to pay out? Are they going to pay out the cost to replace that or what you paid for it? So if you paid $200,000 for your motorhome, are they going to pay out $200,000? Or are they going to pay out what the book value is of that? Really important. Of course, one insurance is going to be more expensive than the other, but this is all, again, it's all risk factors. How much do you want to pay? How much risk? Are you willing just to lose your RV? Like for us, if we lost our RV, we lost our RV, right? Like they're going to pay us at the book value.
Wow.
But
Bye, Nelly.
If we lose it, we lose it. We collect the insurance, but we're not. If we're in it full time,
right,
or if we had a motorhome that was just way more expensive, we'd have to consider that also.
So let's talk about a few tips to maybe help lower those insurance costs. Number one is to bundle policies. Put your home and your RV together. Sometimes insurance companies will, give you a little less for that.
They do for us. So we have our auto, home, and RV all under one insurance, and they show you the discounts, how much of it. But at least you feel like you're getting a discount.
Next one is to maintain a really good driving record. If you're crashing every 2 seconds, and I don't think the insurance company is going to like that too much, and it's certainly not going to go down, it's going to go up.
Yeah, credit score also, like it or not, believe it or not, credit score does affect your insurance rate. I know that for certain it affects your insurance rate. For whatever reason, it does. Just keep that in mind. Also, certain safety devices or safety driving classes, if you have a CDL license, if you've taken defensive RV driving classes or specific RV driving classes, that's all going to reduce in the mind of insurance companies. That makes you a reduction in an accident or a crash. Yeah. And everything is risk, right? They want to get the most money for the risk. It's a business, guys. And then safety devices inside your RV, whether it's fire suppression or some kind of run flat or smart alarms, all different types of things out there. Some insurance companies will give you minimal discounts for that. Anti-theft devices, anything like that. So we hope those few tips will help you in your future purchase. We learned a lot over the years, and listen, the only time you stop learning is when you die, right? You're learning throughout life, and we're here to try to give some tips, but we also want to hear from you because we're always learning every day.
Right, we are. So in the comments below, guys, let us know which of these tips have you used? Which tips have we not mentioned? Put those in the comments below, because not only do we want to read them, but our other viewers want to read them as well.
And if you like videos like this to the left of us, we'll put our RV buying tips playlist, our RV newbies playlist, and for myself and MJ, to generate a lifetime, and we'll
see you on the road.